Florida Gator on me, I'm a gator. They don't move wrong, I'm a gator. From the swamp, homie, I'm a gator.
But I can't tame them, dog. You ready to come? All dogs, all Seminoles, we coming.
Florida Gator on me, I'm a gator. Florida Gator on me, I'm a gator. Florida Gator on me, I'm a gator. They don't move wrong, I'm a gator. From the swamp, homie, I'm a gator. And that two-tone, I'm a gator. Florida Gator on me, I'm a gator.
Come on, Gators. Welcome back in to Gators Talk, guys. I am your host, Millionaire Trader Alex, guys, and we're back with another one. So we're coming in as we're going to talk about the game that was ahead, and we're going to talk about the Utah game as well. We know that's last week, but we want to take what we can from that Utah game and try to improve from that game. From game to game. That's normally how it goes. You improve from game to game. And right now we're going to McNeese State, and we're going to see how the Florida Gators can improve moving forward. Now, I did look at the game tape, so we're going to go over what we got out of the game tape. I mean, that was some plays that to be desired. You know, you can't win on every play, but you try to win majority of the plays. There are a few plays where a few guys got out of position. The touchdown run from Nathan Johnson, two guys missed tackles, both our transfers at that. So that was also what's that guy named Taraji Mitchell and T.J. Moulton. Both of them missed open field tackles, and that was a touchdown. Another play, you know, the play on the goal line when they got 24. There's a few plays there. The guys was in coverage. They had their back turned. We were just in a bad call, so that would be coaching. You know, everybody was covered. That's just a guy just rolled out the pocket and went and made a play. That happens in college football. Guys go out there and make plays. So that's what happened. Now, I think we can get a better rotation moving forward on the defensive line. I think we can go with Cam Jackson, of course, Caleb Banks, Tyreek Sapp. Princely, I'm not going to try his last name. I'm not pretty good at it yet. TJ Searcy, I think he earned more snaps. I think he should get more snaps this game here. Also, Kelvin Collins. Believe it or not, guys, Kelvin Collins, for the short period of time he did come in, he was pretty effective as a pass rusher and on against the run game. So Kelvin Collins, I think his snaps should increase. Of course, we got Desmond Watson up the middle, but that's another thing. I think on that pass play, we was ready to defend the run. We had Big Dez in the game. I think we should have had a pass rush in there with on that third down. I think it was like 3rd and 4, maybe 3rd and 6, something like that, where Big Dez was in the game. I think it was 3rd and 4 because it was a short yardage. So that's why Big Dez was in the game. So, I mean, that was a coaching call. I mean, that was Austin Armstrong. You know, that's a strategic game of chess and in-game strategy. So that's kind of what, he got beat on that play. Same with the first play, guys. I think they knew the tendency of Armstrong, that he was going to be aggressive, and they took advantage of that. He took advantage of. And at the same time, Miguel Mitchell fell down on the play, and his guy was wide open. R.J. Moulton went to cover that guy, and once the ball got thrown, he had to get off that guy and try to recover and go help out Jason Marshall. And y'all seen how it played out. It was a touchdown. He knocked Jason Marshall down, and they walked in the end zone easily. So, guys, it wasn't a misassignment. Just somebody got beat, and it caused another guy to run into another player and allow the big play to happen a lot easier, I would say. But during the game, defense, I see there's room for improvement on the defense. Shamar James looking like he's going to be the stud on defense. He was pretty much all over the field. He had a few plays where, he maybe went into the wrong gap, or maybe he got a little wide coming downhill, but that can be fixed. For the majority of his plays, he was pretty solid. Sideline tackler. He didn't miss open field tackles, so that was big on him, and he was shooting the right gaps, sealing gaps, so he's doing pretty good. Now we just need to get the other linebackers gap filling the same way. That's Scooby Mitchell in coverage. Also, Manny Nunnery had some solid plays as well, but it was off the point of attack and coming off a block and making a tackle. So he got maybe assisted tackle. So linebackers pretty much played well. We got to get better in the secondary. A few mistakes here and there pretty much on rollout plays. When they come across field and running crosses across the field, we got to get off on the coverage correctly, because the tight end came down the field. Nobody was on. He was wide open, and that was a mistake of the safety. Safety should have came down and got on that guy. He was wide open. So we had a few mistakes at safety. So I think that can get cleaned up. And once they clean that up, we'll be a solid defense. And when we get the right defensive line rotation in there, I think we can be a pretty good defense, and we can hold teams scoring and low yardage gains. I really believe we can do that. All we got to do, we have, and of course play calling as well. Austin got to get just a little hair better at play calling. But I think he'll learn how to call defenses in the SEC a little bit more once we get into SEC play, and playing top opponents. And like it really, the in-game strategy is really a real test of your skills and your mind, and the work that you did as far as game planning on defense. So that really tested that. So he knows. I'm pretty sure he knows he has to get better at game planning and strategically getting ready for your opponent. And making it hard for your opponent to gain yardage and get first downs and score. That's something that we're gonna have to get better at, and I think we do have the players to get better and win some ball games. But that's gonna rely on our offense. And we all know where the weakness was during that game. It was offensive line. So those guys, Damian George had a lot of missed assignments. Most of those pre-snap penalties, those wasn't on Damian George. I give him that. I think one was on Dante Sanders, and the other one was on what's the young kid name? Oh Lord, I can't think of his name right now. The left tackle. But it was on the left tackle, so that was on them. I won't call those penalties on him. But the holding penalty, a lot of missed assignments where he's getting his behind whooped. Of course, you win some, you lose some in football. That's just how it is. But I don't think he's suited to play tackle. I think you can kick him inside the guard, but. That's me. I've been, I have my doubts about him going into the season, and it's coming to fruition. Just hate to say that, but I'm hoping he get better, but it's coming to fruition. We didn't recruit well at left tackle or at tackle position, as far as the transfer portal goes. So that is coming back to hunt us. But Jake Slaughter, hopefully he can get better, because Kingsley is still out. Speaking on that, I do have the new depth chart as well. So there were a few changes on the depth chart. Let me get that pulled up, guys. Give me just a moment. All right, so we do have a few changes on the depth chart, guys. And guess who's inserted in that starting role, which I was going to really pretty much say something about this. Eugene Wilson. Anytime he touched the ball, he just looks so explosive and so much better than the other wide receivers. It's as a freshman, as far as playmaking ability, he looks a lot better. So you see him and Aiden Mizell. It will be the receivers, two freshman wide receivers. Andy Jean and Caleb Douglas will go man the next wide receiver spot, and that's good. Andy Jean is back from injury. Ricky Pearsall and Jaquavion Frazier will round out the other spots. Our offensive linemen are still intact. Another lineman that did play well last game was Najee Harris. I'm hoping to see more of him on the offensive line. I would like to see what Lindell Hudson looked like out there at the right tackle. Just kind of swap him out and just give him a look and see how he performed during the game. Which I think this would be the game where he can get some looks. This should be a blowout. This should be a blowout. Another spot, Jonathan Odom. We're getting Hayden Hansen is getting the start over Dante Sanders. Jonathan Odom will continue to be out there. We'll see Arlis Borderham as well. I'm hoping that we can see Hayden Hansen and Arlis Borderham on the field because we do need a more athletic tight end out there on the field. Hey, Jonathan Odom, made his catches. He made some plays, but he's looked super duper slow. Nothing against him, man. Great kid, coming from a great home. A legacy player, former Gator. Dad was an offensive lineman for us. Heck of a guy. Seen him earlier on the podcast, earlier during the summertime. Heck of a guy. His son looked like a great kid as well. But boy, his legs, it's like he got sandbags on his ankles. But he's a good kid, man. Good, great hands. Pretty good, solid blocker though. But I would like to see somebody more athletic out there. Maybe get him more of the inline guy on the line of scrimmage. The quarterback rooms remain the same. The running back room remain the same. We got a few injuries out there as well. Kingsley is still out. Jack Miller still out with a rotator cuff injury. Ty Bowman, he's out. Well, he's questionable. Same with Tony Livingston and Marcus Burke. I was surprised. I was hoping to see Marcus Burke back out there because he performed at a high level during the last game, which was pretty good. He made some plays for us, so definitely we wanted to see more of him because we need some more playmakers out on the edge to alleviate some of that stress off of Graham Mertz, so he can just get a ball in his playmakers' hands and let them do what they do. Khalil Jackson is out as well. We're questionable with lower body injury. Jamarcus Weston is out. He was pretty good on special teams, so that's a good guy that's going to be pretty missed on special teams. Also questionable with Devin Moore. Devin Moore had a solid game last game. He had a solid game. So we had a few changes on. Well, we didn't have much on defense. Everything still remains the same on defense. Tyreek Sapp is still out there. I'm hoping to see more of Jack Pyburn, and would like to see Will Norman as well. I want to see if he's can he push Jamar Lyons for that fourth spot. That's what I'm looking to see when they do go to different packages. But of course, Chris McClellan looked pretty good out there as well. So we're building some depth on defense, guys. It's looking like we can get better on defense. Miguel Mitchell, he played solid game. So did Jordan Castell for that first game on the road as well. So let me get in here, guys. Yeah. Now I would like to see a little bit more design in the passing game. We really need a passing game coordinator. We really do need that because our passing offense really doesn't threaten the defense. It really don't. I mean, it's very simple routes. A lot of stick routes. They had a few plays. We had a few plays we ran over routes and different concepts. We try to flood the zone, but a lot of our guys they're right next to each other in the right route concepts. So we must get better with route concepts and attacking the defense in the pass game. In order to do so, we're gonna need some blocking, some good pass protection. So that's gonna be big for us moving forward. And also, I would like Rob Sell to come up with some better checks at the offensive line, pre-snap checks, because we was down on the goal line. And these guys had 8 to 9 guys in the box, and they ran against an 8 and 9 man front. It was a 1-on-1 battle out there at the wide receiver. You could have threw the hitch out there and see whether he could have made the play. You could have ran any route in the route tree that was a short route, a short stem route. Another thing, I think Billy Gonzalez on the wide receiver portion, the way they stem their routes, they're not stemming. They're not putting a lot of stress on the defensive back in their stems. So I think they should get a little bit better at that. That way you can threaten that defense, a little bit more, and you make them back up a little bit when we do run shorter routes. But we're not stressing the defenses a lot. Well, as you can see, the only game tape we have is the Utah tape, so that's what we can go off of. So I'm just hoping that we can get better checks at the line of scrimmage pre-snap when you can see different formations. There's another time when they was loaded heavy on one side and we ran at the heavy side. We could have ran off tackle to the weak side of the formation and made some play, made some hay on that side. It's just a few checks here and there, man. I think they can clean up a lot of different spots on offense because they have a lot to clean up, guys. We talking about a lot of missed assignments, guys not being where they're supposed to be. We had a penalty of alignment down in the goal line area. That was something I spoke of. Like, players got to get lined up and know what their assignment is. A guy was covered up and made another player ineligible down the field, and that was a penalty. That's a procedure penalty. So procedure penalties and post-snap penalties, those got to get cleaned up ASAP. And y'all remember what I said in the beginning of the season. Those things that in order for us to win ball games, we need those down minimized to the minimum. We definitely need those things to be not happening. We talking about maybe 3 or 4 times a game, maybe. That stuff got to get cut all the way out, or we're going to continue to lose a lot of ball games because we keep shooting ourselves in the foot. But like I said, there was some good takes. Graham Mertz made some good throws down the field and on the sideline. I'm hoping he can make the easy throws a little bit easier. The ones down to the check down to the running back. Get those. Take a little something off the ball, man. Just take your time and get it out there to him so he can go make a play. That's the only thing about Graham Mertz I would say that was different in this game. But he had a solid game. 300 yards passing, 70% completion. So everything was pretty good with Graham Mertz. Just probably get better on the short passes and making sure he don't make predetermined reads. Because I think that's what that was with Ricky Pearsall. If you was watching the game, you seen Ricky came to him right after another play, and then right after that happened, he went right to Ricky, and that's when the interception happened. So you guys can go back and take a peek at it. It's there. You can see it. So that's a few things they can clean up. I think the Gators can still be a solid football team. I believe we can, but we have to get better up front, and that's on both sides of the ball. That means getting a little bit more pressured. I think adding T.J. Searcy and Kelby Collins to the pass rush package would definitely help. Even in the run game, just adding them to the rotation, I think that would help. We might, get a few. Somebody else might not, lose some snaps, but we got to get the best players on the field that's making plays. So I think there's room for improvement. We can be better, but we got to hurry up and get better before the Tennessee game, because once that game start happens, the conference games are they're coming. We may have another cupcake game, which is Charlotte, but after that, the schedule is tough. We got Kentucky. Kentucky's gonna be tough. They're gonna come ready to play. We're the Gators. We got the Gator on our helmet, the orange helmet. Every team is coming to play hard. They're gonna give us their best. So we gotta be ready. And that's on Billy Napier and the staff to get those guys ready, because we didn't look like we was ready last game. So that's gonna be on them to do so. Other coaches that came out there last Saturday, they applied a lot of pressure on coaches to get better at their craft. But that's my take on the game. So let's matter of fact, let's get into the McNeese State. What do we want to see from that game? We want to see the ball get into our skilled players' hands, see more playmakers Let our playmakers make plays. I want to see some physical, our offensive line to be more physical up front and really ground and pound these guys and allow Trevor Etienne and Montrell Johnson to do what they do, because they were not in the game last game. They was not effective, and it wasn't their own fault. It's coaching staff. We got behind in the score, and they went away from the run game. So we got to establish the run game in this game against McNeese State. Establish the run game, be physical up front, get the ball in our playmakers' hand, let them make plays, and that should be the formula of success, and cut down on the penalties. We should be under 5 penalties next game. That should be a goal. No pre-snap penalties. No after the play penalties. No procedural penalties. We're talking about alignment. Special teams, we got to get better at coverage, of course, and make sure that our kicker make kicks, because he did miss the field goal. And Eugene Wilson know not to, field a catch inside the 5. We can't make those kind of mistakes. But yeah, man, about to get out of here, man. I've been running my mouth a little bit, man. But those are things that we want to see next week, and players that we should see perform well. I do want to see Eugene Wilson have a pretty good game. I definitely want to see. I want to see what Aiden Mazzell can do. Get him out there, see if he can stretch the field. Of course, want to see Caleb Douglas and Ricky Pearsall to continue to make plays, routine plays on offense. Jaquavion Frazier, maybe if he do get out there, we want to see what he can do when he get out there. But, he's a big possession type wide receiver, so we can use him as a red zone threat as well. I would like for us to get more athletic at the tight end position and see what our athletes can do. I believe Hayden Hansen, he has the size to block and be athletic as well. I would like to see Arliss Borderham this game. That would be big to see what he can do and see what he look like out there on the field. And guys, another thing I did notice, On3 did a interview with Jordan Seaton, the top offensive line recruit that's on our board at IMG Academy. We're still in the mix, but Colorado and Florida State, they're pushing. They're pushing. Colorado performance, they got in the mix with that performance. Florida State got in the mix with their performance. So the kid is looking at how the teams perform. We're still going to get our visit, but the product on the field must match the message. That's a must. That's a must. So we have to get better on the field, because our recruits are watching. They are watching. The commits are watching, and the current players that are still getting recruited by the Florida Gators are watching. We got to go out there and perform. We got to practice what we preach. We got to look good out there on the field. The product must look good, but we must look better on offense. We must execute in the passing game and in the running game. On defense, if we make those right adjustments on defense with the right personnel, I think we can be a very good defense this year. Those players will continue to get better as they get more snaps and more game time experience. But that's all I have on it, guys. I'm not going no further. I'm going no further. So we'll get in here and get on out of here. It's all about the orange and blue, guys. Y'all already know what time it is.